So today we joined Old Brass and Woodwind with Bob. So Bob is from Seacroft in Leeds, but he moved over to Kenya, where he now is a missionary, and he heads our foundation for Old Brass and Woodwind band that we support, where we send them instruments, and he has a band out there playing brass instruments.
Mainly all brass.
All brass instruments. So that he's in a position where there's no sort of repairers, nowhere to get any spare parts or anything like that. So he's come over now so that we can actually show him how to do emergency repairs, so he can actually keep the band going. And the first one he's asked for is when stairs come off on instruments and stuff like that. So he just needs to learn how to solder the instrument back together. So that's our first thing we're gonna show him how to do. And then hopefully when he's actually gone back, he's done 4 or 5 little things that he can actually learn, and you can actually mend the instruments directly out there.
Yeah.
So
most of the instruments that we have are from Dave over the years. How many years now?
Quite a lot now.
Must be 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, 10 years.
I'd say, yeah. And it's close to our heart that, you know, if we've got instruments that in this country we sort of think, well, nobody wants to use that, you know, then every instrument should be played. So what we're trying to do is encourage people all around the world, and it's a great cause that we have, you know, great foundation. I'm really proud of it. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk together through what tools I would use and how I would do it, and then Bob can actually explain his version of what he's sort of got and access to out there. So where you've got this joint and it's popped like that, yeah, what we need to do first of all is clean the joint. So we've got Engineers 3-cornered scraper, it's called, and as you see, if I just show you on this part here, you can sort of scrape the solder off nicely.
Well, I've got something similar to that.
You've got something similar to that?
Yeah, not exactly like that. Is it like a file? No, it's not. No, just
you can make one out of a file if you
Yeah,
wanted.
I've
you know, by
got-
grinding it.
Yeah, I've got
you
a
know,
file
and
that's that shape at the end.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can just put it on a grinding stone and just sharpen the edge.
Yeah.
You know, with that. And it's just a case that I use my thumb against it and just pivot it
To brace it against it. Yeah.
like that with it on. So if I was to do this job sort of correctly, because I've got all the tools, I would remove the whole stay off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both sides, clean both sides and reattach it all. But then you need specialist tools to sort of clamp it.
No, well, for me, it's just a mend. I just need it amending.
Yeah. So I would have a tool like this. I can hold it in position and things, but you don't have things like this.
Got a test tube holder.
Test tube holder. Okay. Similar thing. It's just however you actually want to work it. So because you just want to actually do a quick repair and get them through the actual thing, I have to open it up with my
Yeah.
finger
Now, where are
like
you
that.
putting the pressure on? You see that one's bust now. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we can do that one at the same time.
Right. Which would be done first, that one or that one?
We'd clean both first.
Yeah.
And then, because what I don't want to do is pull it right open and have it sprung open, because if we have it too far sprung open, it will come back, so you'll end up having to clamp it or hold it back. What I'm using is the actual metal is only going so far, and the reason for that is so it's easy to actually fasten back.
How it came from the factory.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, so as you see this joint here, and it's easy to show on this here, if we go on the edge, because the solder's going to run in from here in, this edge here has to be really clean.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it right up to the edge, but I only go up to the edge. I mean, on your older instruments you can go as far as you want, but I've got to do it so I'm not actually affecting the actual lacquer. So what we're going to try and do is, by springing it open, is clean this joint right up to the edge. Yeah. And then what we can actually do then is pull some, everywhere's got every cloth, so you should be able to get that. And then what we can do is on this side is, if we push and hold and pull it through.
Would you not do it like that, where you got both ends and went like that?
The reason I do it this way because it's only going to be taking the solder off where I want it to go. If I was to do it like this, I can show you because it's a scrap instrument, you would end up with scratches all both sides of it.
Yeah, even if you kept it straight.
If you kept it straight, you're still not getting the full curvature of the actual thing.
You can't get into that thing.
So you can do this side like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we're cleaning the solder through, and then this side, because the curve's the opposite way. I have to push that down.
Yeah, I'm with it.
And pull it through because the curve is that way.
Yeah, the curve of the bell is knocking the cloth in.
Correct. So we would do that with that. Yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah. So as long as it's clean and it's got rid of all the old solder, you just keep doing that until it's clean. Yeah.
Right.
And then same with this. What we have to do with this is take the middle valve out.
You'd only take them. You said I'd take all the lot out.
Well, you can do. Yeah.
Just in case. Just in case.
Because if I was doing it, I'd be servicing it and replacing all the felts. So
I can't afford to melt those plastic things anymore.
Yeah. And again, what we're going to try and do is, I would take the mouth pipe off to do this properly and file it all up and stuff. But we're trying to do it with the parts that you have. So again, I would pull through. So you see how I'm pushing to actually, and that's going to click on where it's actually soldering, yeah?
Yeah.
And then, because you don't have a clamp, everyone's got florist wire.
Yeah.
Yeah? So if we pull enough florist wire out, I'll just clip it like that, yeah? Effectively, if you double it over, it doubles the strength of it, yeah? And then what we can do is, there's two ways. You can do it like that, to pull the whole thing down. This would dent the instrument a little bit too much for my liking. So what I would do is put it actually on and twist it round. You pull the joint to where you want it to go and just finish it off by just nipping that up. I'm not putting too much pressure on it, it's just to hold it. So you can see now that's held it into position. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now it's hands-free soldering technique, yeah?
So it doesn't look as though there's a gap there, but of course there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which allows the solder to go in.
Yeah.
And then if we get the solder, what are we doing with the solder?
There.
Yeah. So it's standard solder that you'd use for electrical work.
Really?
Yeah, standard solder for that. Or plumbing, you know, plumbers. But plumbers sometimes doesn't have flux inside. We use 5-core solder.
Right.
And then what we do is we dip it into the.
Oh right, hang on. You're putting the solder onto there, and right, okay. Because I would have put the solder on the joint.
Yeah. So it's just flux on here. The reason that is when I start to solder it. So when I'm soldering, I'm going to heat that up.
Yeah.
Because that's slightly thicker, and then this is thinner. So I need to get them to both link. You move the blowtorch up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is now melting that flux that I've actually put in there, and then because there's flux on there, it helps it running. So what I'm doing here is heating the joint up and then just catching the solder.
Oh, you actually catch the solder.
Yeah.
I thought it was the joint that melted it.
No. So the blowtorch is just catching. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just run it over like that. And then I would do the other side. So again, you just heat it a little bit. And what we're trying to get it to do is run in to the actual joint. Show it again where it runs into the actual joint. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that gives us a really good solid joint.
Right, so then you don't put water on or anything?
No,
Cool
because
it down.
what happens if you put water on it, cools it too fast, causes a dry joint.
Right.
So we want it to cool it at its room temperature.
Right.
Yeah?
So how long would you leave that before the florist wire come off?
Oh, you can do it now. So we can undo the florist wire, and that's a good solid joint. It's not very pretty,
No, it doesn't
but
matter.
that doesn't matter from where you are. But that is as good as when it was made, when it was brand new.
Right.
Is that'll last you all sorts of conditions and everything like that. So it's sort of keep it neatish, and but the main thing for you is strength.
Yeah,
That's all.
because they get a lot of hammer.
So if you were to hold that, you have the test tube holder or whatever, or you know, as you pointed out, you got like bricks, and you might be able
Yeah,
to hold
put
them together with
stone,
bricks,
put two
stones,
stones.
or
Yeah.
whatever. However you want to hold it. So that's basically it. So what we'll do is we'll get you now soldering
Okay.
and cleaning, and then hopefully when you leave, you sort of got more of an idea
Yeah.
of what we're sort of doing. Good.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So we have now a selection of instruments that he's going to take back to Africa. So if there's any other bands out there would like to donate instruments, I'm sure Bob would love to.
I would love to take them off your hands, yeah, anything that's going. So today I've got this couple of basses, euphonium, couple of trombones, and in here some mutes and springs and all sorts of things. Thanks to Dave Walker's good offices on our behalf, we're very grateful to him, and have been for a number of years. How many years
10
now?
years, I reckon.
10
Yeah.
years, 10 years.
We've been doing it now.
Started with a couple of cornets with shanks, so you can tell how long ago it was, and then we've had numerous things over the years, for which we're very grateful. And we've a band of about 40 now in Mombasa.
Fantastic.
1, 2, 3, 4.